A former president of Nigeria, Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, says Nigeria's younger generation should be positively disruptive to get power now, but not through violence. He said whether in the military or in the private sector, leadership is very important, adding that the younger generation will never get power if they do not get it now. The youth, Obasanjo advised, should run for elections in Nigeria and must not say they are too young to run at 55. In his words, if you can't run, what time do you have to run? You have to be positively disruptive, but not through violence. If they call you leaders of tomorrow, don't accept it. If you don't get it now, you will never get it. What do you need to make those uncomfortable? That's the solution. Arise News analyst Dayo Sobowale joins us now to discuss the former president's comments. It got a bit tricky towards the end there, but I think the point that really stands out and that has really left a lot of people flabbergasted was where he said you can be positively disruptive, but not through violence. Mr. Sobowale, as a youth, how are we going to be positively disruptive, without violence?
It's urging you people to destabilize the system. But you see, when I read the topic, I was afraid that I would tremble to treat it. But you have to treat it. He has said it. So the ball is in our court to react. I think I will first of all say that he's indulging in malapropism. You know what that is? That's misuse of language. Because you cannot talk of disruptive change. And then he's trying to be conceptual. I am a social scientist, so I will take him on that. And then, you see, if you talk the way he has done, you see, you are using economic terminology, you get me, which is Schumpeter's theory of development economics. I was taught that in school. But what that said is with regard to change in the process of production or service delivery. That there is creative destruction. That you have to change the way in which you produce goods and services, and that internally they continually destroy themselves to create new ones. That is in the economic field, and that is the basis of capitalism and competition. To stay ahead of the competitors, you get me, you continually innovate, look for new ways of doing things. You cannot do that. You cannot call on people to do that in a political system, especially after an election. And then telling people that it's like telling them they are wasting their time and that their future is not there. It is an incitement. It should be called to order. It should be called to order. And then it's trying to do change management. In strategic management, change management is an oxymoron. It's like talking of living dead or bad joy. Do you get me? They don't go. You cannot manage change except in a computer. But see, I'm a social scientist. The difference between the social sciences and the physical sciences is between empiricism and subjectivity. Okay. You cannot subject a human being to test tube analysis or test tube like you use mice. You get me? In the laboratory. This, our leader, a well-respected leader, who has always advocated consensus and constructive criticism, has now come out to incite youths against the government of the day. It is not on. I could read a motive into it. Right. In the last election, he supported the candidate from the eastern part of the country. The present incumbent is from his own tribe. You see, his own concept, I've always quarreled with his own concept of patriotism and nationalism. He believes because he was in the army. He was in the army, he was a Nigerian first before a Yoruba man. And you see, when in the history of this country, when it was decided by the army that the Southwest should have a candidate, they picked Obasanjo. So, ultimately, he has been the first Nigerian Yoruba head of state. But his people never accepted him up till today. Danjuma said it. When Danjuma was campaigning for him, he said if you lost the election in 1990, he will migrate. Because even though it's the most destabilized Nigerians, his people never accepted it. And Obasanjo has always had a grudge against his people. Look at the MKO story. When everybody was trying to reactivate MDO's mandate, he said it there, almost jealously, that MKO was not the Messiah. But then, he has been extremely lucky. He didn't plan a coup, but he benefited from a coup. He has been Minister of Works, he has been Minister of Defense, he has been head of state twice, military. But now, it's the hand of God. A Yoruba man from his own ilk and tribe is president. Perhaps he's jealous of that, or how do we put it? That is the way I see it. But then, he should not play into the hands of his own kinsman, the way he played into the hand of Abacha. And you know what happened thereafter. Let's leave it at that for now.
All right.
Right.
Mr. Dayo Sobowale, rights analyst, I'd like to thank you for that analysis on the...
Is it over?
more or less.
Fast.
So fast. I know time is against us. We'd like to thank you for your input on the former president's comments on disruptive challenges there.